Ta-da! Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Wednesday. No, it's not Wednesday. Holy crap. Welcome to Monday night. We're going to do our Monday night mini medicine card readings, and I I took a risk, came down to the river because I really needed to get out of the house, and I got my sacred pipe and stuff here so I can do some ceremony. And well, here, let me show you. So they're supposed to be okay. Yes, for Nancy, Valerie. What about you, Deb? You guys don't even give me a chance to do an introduction anymore. I got Nancy and Valerie. So I just wanted to show you this beautiful place. And it's like I looked at the weather and there's like 90% chance of rain. But so I'm kind of hidden in here. I've got some, oh, that's not going to help you. I've got some green over me, and I've got my lucky hat in case it does rain. So, but we'll see what happens. All right, so welcome everybody. I haven't introduced myself. I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman, in case you didn't know who I was. And what we are doing tonight, we are going to do mini medicine card readings using this beautiful deck. Look at that hummingbird right on top. Okay, I saw your note, Deb. I'll put you down in parentheses. And that way, if no one else comes in. So we've got the medicine card deck, working with the totem animals. And of course, each animal has its own message. And, so I've been doing these readings for so long now, right? And I know, like, the textbook, what the animals mean, etc., etc. But I really encourage you, after the readings and such, to tune into your own heart and ask that animal what's its message is personally for you. It might be something totally different. I try to stay open to, oh, hey, Kevin. All right. You got a dolphin earlier? Cool. But, I try to stay open to different aspects of the animals and tune into the person and tune into that relationship of the individual and that animal. But my wisdom and knowledge cannot overshadow your own heart's wisdom. So when we get done, I highly encourage you to sit for a moment, meditation, just breathe, connect with the spirit of that animal, and ask what is its personal relationship with you. How does that animal relate to you personally? Because when we're doing these readings, these aren't just symbolic. Hey, Josh, gotcha. When I pull these cards, the cards are just kind of a stepping off point, but then I connect with the spirit of that animal and get the message right from that animal spirit, what it has to say to others. So, like, this is about connecting. This is about relating to the spirits that guide us on a daily basis, right? So when you get a certain card, tap into that and just don't think it's just a symbol. Don't think it's just an archetype. These are sentient beings, sentient spirits who can help us, who guide us. They literally are our spirit guides. They can guide us because they can see. It's like they're in the top of the bleachers, and they can see what's going on from a higher perspective, a non-linear perspective. Well, we can't usually see what's right in front of us. So it's all about relationship. Alrighty, so Nancy is first. Yay, I've missed you, Nancy. You haven't been on for a while. And so the way this works, if you're new here, the first 6 people who say yes in the comments get a 1-card reading. We're up to 5, maybe 6 people. But if you don't get a personal card request, then choose a number between 1 and 6, or a couple of numbers, or all the numbers. And whatever, even though that card might be aimed at someone else, there will be a message in there somewhere for you as well. And it's starting to drizzle. All right, so Nancy. Nancy, you got rabbit. And I know you guys have rabbits, or had rabbits. I'm not sure if you still do or not, but rabbit is kind of the harbinger of new life. Just like, you know, springtime, everything is bunnies and eggs, and it's about new life. It's about the quickening. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't sure if you still had rabbits or not. I'm sorry they passed on. They're still there. You know that. To me, rabbit is the quickening. It's that first vitality of springtime, that when life is just there's like that electricity in the air, and things are bursting from the ground. Oh, rabbit is Nancy's inner medicine animal. Awesome. Perfect. So there is new life. New life is imminent. New directions. I just heard Grandfather Eagle. So, it's like there's a new vitality coming. There's a new, like, I always think of rabbit as creative opportunities, right? And it's like these new things popping out, or it's kind of like, like whack-a-mole, right? Rabbits popping out of the ground, not knowing where they're going to come up. And if you're a predator and you feast on rabbits, if you miss one, there's always another one coming along. So keep moving. Keep moving. I got an old friend of mine used to say, you can't steer a car if it's not moving. It's easier to steer a car when it's moving than when it's just sitting still. And so this is about keep moving. And it doesn't matter what direction. In fact, rabbits' path is zigzaggy, right? When they're running, they don't run in a straight line. They zigzag all over the place. And so it's like honoring your own path, whereas other people might have a focus or an intensity on one aspect of life or a couple aspects of life. You are meant to follow the shiny things. You're meant to have all these different aspects of life that you are enthralled with. It's like one thing catches your eye and follow that, and another thing catches your eye, you follow that, and then another thing and you follow that. And that is a totally valid path. That is a totally valid way of living, right? So never compare yourself to anyone else. And know that if you haven't started to see it yet, there is new life just ready to burst from the earth. There's new creative opportunities about to show up. And the reminder that anything that is meant for you is not going to pass you by, right? Like I said, rabbits have been called the popcorn of the animal kingdom because they are so plentiful and everybody eats them. And so if you miss one, there's always another one coming along. You are never stuck. You might have to think outside the box. Creative, right? It's like you're not living within the bounds of regular society. And so, and I just saw something the other day that it was more about emotions and feeling the ups and the downs. And someone was like, well, I keep doing this roller coaster thing. And someone else was like, well, you're sewing things together. Look, you're stitching. Needle goes in, the needle comes out, the needle goes in. And when you're rabbit, you're tying things together. You're sewing things, bringing things together that normally might not fit, like in other people's opinions and other people's perspectives. But that is your gift to the world, is that unique perspective that sews together these far-flung things. You see connections and patterns where other people don't. So follow the shiny stuff. Follow the joy. Go for whatever brings you joy. And there's going to be a lot more coming. All right, so that was number 1 for Nancy. Number 2, card number 2 for Valerie. Oh, and I forgot too, it's like I also, if you feel so inclined, I would ask that you share this video with others. You can wait till we're done, or you can tag somebody in the comments. But that is my asking price for watching the video, is to please share the video. Share the love. All right, Valerie. You got 3 cards. You saw them jump out. Okay. So card number 2, for anyone who is doing the numbers, you got a bonus. You got 3 cards. So you got frog in reverse, an elk, and fox in reverse. So all right, so frog, of course, is about cleansing. Frog is about seeking out the people, places, and situations that feed you. It's not about wallowing someplace where you don't belong and poor woe is me. It's about this sucks, this does not work, I'm going to go someplace else. And actually seeking out pure water, the kind of people and situations that feed you, that nurture you. Frog will seek out pure water, and there's a Native American saying about, it's not so much where you find water you find frog, but where you find frog you find water, because they're constantly looking for the purest water, because they are kind of the patron saint of empaths. They don't actually drink water, they soak it through their skins, and so whatever is in the water is in the frog. And so they, for their own well-being, they need to be in pure water, as pure as they can find. And so it's about finding that more pure water in the pond, surrounding yourself with people who reflect your highest being. You know, like Kyle C. said one time, I love this saying about, it's like we're living inside of a wine bottle, so we can't see our own label, so we need other people outside of us to read back that label to remind us who we are inside the wine bottle. And so it's about surrounding yourself, not with people who are gonna, you know, like yes men and stuff like that are gonna just, you know, but real people who really see who you are, who can, without agenda, can guide you, support you, reflect back to you who you are when you forget. There's a bunch of little, they're not babies anymore. There's like 8 merganser chicks floating by. They grow fast, because I saw them just a couple weeks ago and they were big enough to crawl on their mom's back. Wow. Anyway, squirrel, merganser. So you're in, you know, came up reverse, so it's like you're in that place of discernment, figuring out what fits, what doesn't fit, what feeds you and what doesn't feed you, and trying to be proactive as to where you spend your time, where you spend your energy, right? And at the same time, we've got Fox coming up in reverse, and Fox is Fox is the shapeshifter. So it's kind of like between these two, it can be kind of an identity crisis because you're reaching for what feeds you. You're reaching for those things that reflect your joy, but you're not sure, how do I put that? But it's like coming back to, you have to figure out who you are, not just who you're pretending to be, not just, you know, the image that we project into the world that we want people to see, that we're trying to, it's kind of like dropping all those pretenses to come back to yourself so that you can surround yourself with those things that feed you, that support you. So it can be kind of a little bit of a identity crisis kind of thing. It's kind of in reverse. It can be Fox getting caught in his own. It kind of almost coyote-ish, right? Fox is kind of a trickster spirit, and he uses the power of illusion and glamour and that kind of thing. And in reverse, it can be a sign of him being tricked by his own illusion, like thinking that something is true simply because he says it is, or that he's been telling the same story for so long that he's starting to believe it himself, not realizing that he is the storyteller, that he is the one who has created that story, right? Similar to possum medicine, you know, realizing yourself as the actor rather than the character you play. So this, and it's not bad. It's not like you're doing anything wrong. It's kind of like the illusions are falling. The walls are falling, so that you're getting a clearer and clearer picture of who you really are. And right now, when you're in the middle of that, it can be horrendous. It can be emotional and painful because you're not sure what's real and what's not real as far as your reality, because your reality reflects who you are. Hi, Mama McAnzer. So fun to watch them. Because it comes to a place where you're not sure if you can trust yourself. Does that make sense? Because some things have been going on for so long. Even if they're not true, it's hard to tell what's not real and what is real. So it's kind of like you're in that juggling place. What's real, who you're becoming, who you really were, who you really are underneath all of that. And the thing is, the reason this is happening is because you're raising your frequency. You are constantly growing. You're constantly challenging the old paradigms of your life, the old story of who you thought you used to be. And it's all because you're raising your frequency, so there's not as much solid ground to stand on. You're still figuring that part out. But Elk's superpower is stamina. He can outrun, not necessarily by speed, but he can outdistance predators. He can run for hours at the same pace. So this is an indicator that, you know, even though this stuff is turning you upside down, you still have a solid center, and you have all the energy and stamina you need to write these things. You know, it's raining. The other thing about elk is actually matriarchal. We always think, oh, the bull elk, and he's got all the, you know, he's got his choice of the females in the herd. And it's like, no, it's the females in the herd that decide which elks are going to be allowed to stay in the herd. And so what that kind of, the way that manifests in physical reality is that right now is a good time to spend time with women friends. It's like the same, hey Melanie, how are you? We got one spot left if you want it, Melanie. So elk, one of the messages of elk comes up sometimes when it's time to spend time with, hey Chelsea, how are you? We got one spot left if anybody wants it. So it's like spending time with the same gender friends. You know, if you were, okay, Melanie, you got the last spot. Awesome. And we're only on card number 2, so we've got 3 cards for one. Got buy 1 card, get 2 free. So it's like spending time with your women friends, you know, and that's part of this, getting that support and nurturing that you need to have people around you that see who you are even when you don't remember it, right? And this is actually a good thing. It's like the illusions are dropping and you're starting, it's like you're starting to see the man behind the curtain. Instead of taking things as face value, you're starting to see behind the scenes and actually realizing that you are the woman behind the curtain, right? So I hope that's helpful. So that was card number 2 for Valerie. Kevin is up. I'm going to try to maybe not be so verbose so that I can get my cards safely put away so they don't get wet and rained on too much. Okay, Kevin, card number 3. All right, Kevin, you got Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Black Panther is about embracing the unknown. Black Panther brings in a sense of adventure. It's like, you know, we're kind of programmed from a young age to be afraid of the dark, right? To be afraid of the unknown. And that if we don't know what's going to happen, we freak the heck out, right? Oh my God, what's going to happen? Oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen. And we freak out. This is about turning that sense of like anxiety uncertainty into a sense of excitement. You're welcome, Valerie. Yeah, that was a lot, and I kind of rambled a little bit, so I'm not the best focused. I don't have the best focus tonight, like I usually do, so. Squirrel. So Kevin, it's like becoming excited by the fact that you don't know what's going to happen. It's like, oh boy. Yes, listen to Melanie. Hang out with the girls more. So Kevin, no, that was Valerie, not Kevin. Kevin, that's between you and Tammy. Hanging out with the girls. It's like, there's a sense of, it's kind of that feeling of becoming the captain of your own ship. Like that sense of explorer, right? There's this unknown place out there, and I am going to find it, and I am going to map it and chart it, and I'm going to discover all the lost cities and the lost treasures and all of that kind of stuff. So it's great mystery. Greater than Great Spirit in Native American religion and spirituality is great mystery. Great mystery is basically the cosmic mother, is the void from which all things come. And so it's like, this is an indication that you have an infinite number of paths ahead of you to choose from, that you are the captain of the ship, and you get to decide where you're going to go, what you're going to do, and what you want to discover. What it's like discovering new talents and gifts that you might not have known you had, and exploring, like taking new classes, expanding, and finding out what hidden treasures. It's about hidden treasures. That's what's coming into my head. There's like hidden treasures that you're unaware of, and this is giving you the excitement and the enthusiasm to explore new places, to go into the dark, go into the unknown, not playing it safe with just what you know, but exploring and expanding in ways that you may have never thought of before, okay? Because you're safe, just like Black Panther, you are the king of the jungle, right? So there doesn't have to be any worry about being selfish or self-involved, because if it's for your highest good, it's automatically for the highest good of everyone in the jungle, right? Black Panther's heart is his authority. And so he's called to prey upon the sick and the weak and the elderly in the herd. And so by fulfilling his own needs, fulfilling the calling of his heart, he actually strengthens the herd, makes the herd healthier, stronger, and faster. So do what your heart is calling you to. You know, dig for that buried treasure. There's something for you in the shadows that you haven't looked at yet. And again, it's like that whole thing about you don't have to curse the darkness, just light a single candle. You don't need to enlighten the world or you know, turn the lights on everywhere. It's about going into the darkness and finding what's there waiting for you, okay? I hope that makes sense. All right. Josh, you are number 4. That is exactly it, Kevin. I love how you put that. Paving new ground, embrace it, enjoy it. You can see in the dark as the king of the night. That's exactly it. You just, sometimes it's like I go on and on and on and on, and people are like, okay, this is what I got from it. Bop, bop, bop. I'm like, other people are so much more succinct than I am. So, awesome. All right, Josh, you are number 4. Oh, Chelsea, if you're still here, there's actually one more spot left. If you want it. So, Josh, number 4. I hope things are going better, Josh. Awesome. Thanks, Kevin. You're welcome. All right, Josh. Starting to get wet. All right, Josh. Armadillo. So you know, the main thing about Armadillo is boundaries, right? Got the shell on his back to protect him. And so it's about boundaries, but just like the shell, boundaries are flexible. His shell is just hair tightly packed together, right? A more dense hair. And so it's flexible, it breathes, things pass through. And so boundaries need to be flexible, need to be malleable, but they need to be supported. I'm trying to think of a better word, but it's kind of like standing your ground. You get to decide what those boundaries are. No one else can tell you. It's like that thing about how, the people who get upset at you making boundaries are the people who are benefiting from you not having boundaries, right? So the fact that he's upright actually speaks a lot too to the effect that you've been getting better and better at that knowing your limits, knowing what you can handle, being more aware of when someone is taking advantage of you, like they're taking more than you're willing to give. And I know for a lot of us, it's like we were taught, like everyone else is more important than you, everyone else knows better than you do. I know that's the way I've always felt. And it's hard to put up boundaries in those cases because, like, well, they know better. Oh, they're not trying to hurt anyone. Oh well, I'll let them take what they want. I'll get better. Don't worry about me. I'll be okay, right? So this is about actively holding those boundaries, Putting yourself first, prioritizing your own needs. Just like I just said with Black Panther. What is for your highest good is for the highest good of everybody. We're all connected. Something cannot be for your highest good and be to the detriment of someone else. Life is a non-zero sum game. The better we all do, the better we all do, right? Hey, Melanie, you're the next card, so I'm glad you're back. Yeah. And it's because of the boundaries, the hard shell, that armadillo's soft underbelly can thrive, right? It's not an either or, it's a both and. It's because of the hardness that the softness can thrive. It's because of the hardness, the boundaries around you, that allows your pure heart to be open, right? It's kind of like the seed casing for a seed or a nut that allows the soft inner meat of the nut or the seed to grow and to germinate. And when you have those really strong boundaries, it's like you might not think this of yourself, but you are more courageous than most people I know. All the things you do, all the places you go. And so it's to recognize in yourself that you can trust yourself, that you trust yourself more than you think you do, that you have stronger boundaries than you think you do, because it's armadillo, because of the being able to roll up in a ball and be safe at any moment, can courageously move into unknown territory. He can venture places he might not do otherwise, for the simple fact that he knows he can curl up in a ball and be safe at any moment, right? And so watching you and all the amazing things you do, all the amazing places you go, all your amazing adventures, I think this is a recognition of the courage, recognition of how much you've actually grown. Everything is moving forward. It's not going backward. Does that make sense? So it's on another level, if you turn that around, it's the purity of the heart that it's like innocence and purity are their own protection. When you're pure of heart, you are vibrating at that higher frequency. And so a higher, just like with armadillo, this higher frequency of hair packed together to create this shield, when you are pure-hearted, live from your heart, it creates that shield around you so that only things that resonate with you can get through that boundary. Does that make sense? So kudos, you're doing great. This is a validation of how much you have grown. And that you really can trust yourself. You really can, okay? All right, so card number 5 for Melanie. I'm gonna try to be brief because my cards are getting a little bit damp. All right, Melanie, you got alligator in reverse. So alligator, the main thing that alligator brings is integration. You know, alligator floats in the water with just her eyes above, and her eyes being on the side of her head, she can see the whole 360-degree panorama around her. So number one, her world is integrated. She doesn't live a fragmented life like we tend to, where, you know, our business life is over there somewhere, our home life is over there, our social life back there, and we have no idea how they connect, right? She sees every portion of her world and how it connects. It's one puzzle. It's one, every piece of the puzzle fits together so that everything is connected. And what it comes down to is that she is the center of her reality. She is the glue that ties different things, different people together who would maybe never be connected in any other circle, but because you know and love these people and you know and love these people, you're the bridge between them. There's common ground, there's similarities. And so it's like I'm feeling like there's a need to just kind of sit back, take a breath. You're not in charge of fitting everything together. That's not your job. Your job is to look and see. Everything is already there. And you are the center, so you have equal access to every part of what's going on around you. Does that make sense? It's like the world literally revolves around you. You are the center sun, and everything else orbits you. And so you are that point of integration. You literally are that which holds everything together in your world. But it doesn't, but that's without effort. That doesn't mean you have to do things to keep things together. It means just by being who you are. Things, just like planets orbiting the sun, everything falls into its own rhythm. You don't have to effort to make sure everything is lined up, or that everyone is in step with everybody else, or that, you know, this doesn't crash into that. Your job is just to be and to hold that space, right? Like the sun radiates light, the sun radiates love. It's not through effort. The sun doesn't have to like push that light out, push it out, push it out. The sun just is. And by the grace of who he is, light and love just naturally radiate from him. And because of that, the planets circle him, and he heats planets, and he, you know, he sparks life. The sun is the life giver. Who knows how many other planets there's life because of the sun, because of the light, because of the love. So just be. And I know sometimes that can be the hardest thing to do, is to just be. But it's kind of like what I'm getting is that sense of sitting back, just breathing, relaxing, and letting everything else fall into its natural rhythm around you. You don't have to orchestrate, okay? And that doesn't mean there aren't catastrophes. That doesn't mean that, meteorites don't plow into planets and create, upheaval or whatever. But that isn't your job. That is just the natural unfolding of life. And to let things happen as they happen, to let go, of the control a little bit, at least a little bit. And to trust those natural rhythms. The rhythms within you and the rhythms outside of you are the same. So by just aligning yourself, everything else comes into alignment. Does that make sense? I hope that's helpful. I really do. I hope that makes sense. I hope that's helpful. Just breathe. There's nothing you need to do right now. Just let things unfold. All right, Deb, card number 6. Fortunately, it's not like raining. It's just been drops here and there, but my cards are getting a little bit, I don't want them to get too warped. Okay. So Deb. Deb, you got the hawk, messenger of the gods. I just got kind of giddy when I saw this card come up for you. I just got kind of giddy. It's like you're doing it. For anyone else watching this, Deb or Winter Fox, how do you have it on there? Winter Fox Awakening. For anyone who's watching this, Deb is an amazing tarot reader. And she has her own YouTube channel. Check her out, because she is an amazing messenger of the gods. Hawk is kind of like in shamanism we talk about becoming the hollow bone, kind of the bridge between, sage. So Deb/Sage. Sage is her spiritual name, and her business name, Winter Fox Awakening. So check her out. Check out her videos. And she's working down at Crescent Moon in Tacoma now, which is awesome. Anyway, so Hawk is the bridge between heaven and earth. Hawk goes from being hanging in the sky to swooping down for a rabbit, flying back up, flying back down. It's kind of, Hawk is kind of like the Native American Hermes. Hermes was the only god that could go between Olympus and Tartarus without any trouble. Anyone else had to go through certain rituals, or you had to, pay the ferryman to go to the underworld. But Hermes had access to everywhere, and that's Hawk is like Hermes in having access to everywhere, has access of wisdom, knowledge, perspective. There's nothing that can be kept secret from Hawk. And so I'm taking it as a, how much you've expanded getting this image of how much further you can spread your wings, you know. And I mean, just look at those, look at that look, that confidence, that self-assuredness. I know, because I've been watching your videos. I don't always remember to like or love or anything, but I do watch, and I have noticed that look more and more in your eyes. Just this self-assuredness, this confidence, not having to prove yourself to anyone, but knowing who you are, knowing, being sure of your abilities. You're spreading your wings, you are. It's like new territories. And you watch and you see everything that's going on. You don't miss anything. That Hawkeye, I just got this vision. It's like, you know, that vision of being able to focus on something. You see something, you notice something, shoot. It's like, okay, what is that? And then that opening the spirit, and then everything you need to know or say about that thing comes through. It's like that. You're the anchor, like when you're doing your spiritual work, when you're doing your readings and such, you're like the physical anchor by focusing on, you know, the cards or whatever, you know, like I said, the cards for me are a jumping off point. And by focusing on whatever that is, that's anchoring it in the physical plane, and then you're opening up for that wisdom to come in. Whoosh. Yes, exactly. Seize the moment. So, again, I know the last time it was a big thumbs up for you, and this is like the same thing. It's kind of a validation that you're doing good. You're doing amazingly well, and expanding and growing, and yeah, the hollow bone, that's exactly it. So awesome. I hope that helps. All right, one more for everyone, whether you got a reading or not. I needed to come out here even though it's kind of drizzling and stuff. I needed to get outside today. I'm glad. You're welcome, Sage. All right. So one card to rule them all. Ha ha! Trust your own vision. Trust your own guidance. No matter who you are a messenger of the gods. You're welcome, Melanie. just by being who you are, living your life, you are a messenger of the gods. Because the messages are not necessarily informational. The messages of the gods come fly with me, yeah. Winter Fox. Sage. Everyone fly, Sage is following the leader, the leader, the leader. You can fly, you can fly, you can fly. Think of think of winter, think of snow, think of sleigh bells, off we go like reindeer in the sky. So fly, trust your guidance. If you are watching this, you are a messenger of the gods. Just by living your life, by doing what you do, by living your joy and your bliss, you give messages, and they're not necessarily informational messages. We always think that information, that's the thing. We need the information. We need to know, A plus B equals what. But it's about those unteachable moments, unteachable lessons, things that happen, things that people learn just because you walk by and smile at them, right? Those kind of things. So just be the hollow bone, be the messenger of the gods. Know that you can trust your heart. You've been doing the work. You can trust your heart to know the right thing to say, the right thing to do. And it doesn't have to be big and grandiose. It could be just baby steps, right? But just be yourself. You are enough. Just being who you are, you bring so much more light and love to the world than would otherwise be here. So, all right. So that is our cards for the night. Thank you so much for joining me. If you would like a personal reading, pull spread, you can visit my website, perchingwolfstudios.net, and you can set up a session with me right there. We can do either live in person or on Zoom. And it's my joy to be able to guide people. Oh, hey, Feather. Sorry you missed. But Hawk was just on the end. Hawk was a card for everybody at the end, so you can take that one because you are a wonderful messenger of the gods. Let's see, and Wednesday night I'll be right here doing another live video, 7 o'clock, doing my pipe ceremony. And coming up July 11th, Tuesday, July 11th, in person, I'm going to be teaching my introduction to shamanic journey class. So if you've ever wondered about shamanism, or you've heard me speaking about it, but would like to know more, it's a 3-hour class. It's $150 right here in Renton, and I would love to have you along, answer questions. And this class can literally change your life. When I took the similar class, oh, got a little sluggy, look. I love slugs. When I took a similar class, when I first started my shamanic path, it changed everything. It's like this class is all you need to begin take your first steps onto a shamanic path. And then it's the first step if you wanted to continue to like mentor with me or learn from me, take other classes. I'm getting a bunch of classes together for the summer and everything, so stay tuned. And I hope to see you again next Monday night right here. And I think that's it. Yeah, for now. So thank you again for joining me. Have a wonderful, wonderful... Oh, thank you, Sage. You took the class and you highly recommend it. You guys are so welcome. So, till I see you again, know that I love you, that I see you, and that I honor you. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Go shining, everybody. All right.